What's going on, all you mentees? This is the What's going on, all you mentees? Uncanny Omar here from Near Mint Condition, the home of collected editions. And today I'm going to be going over my top 10 most wanted Marvel Gallery editions. So, stay tuned. And welcome back, everybody. Before getting started, I want to give a huge shout out to our patrons for making videos like this possible. Could not be making videos like this without you all. The link to our Patreon is in the description of the video. In case you don't know what a gallery edition is, this is one of them. Marvel for the last couple of years has been putting out these oversized hardcovers. They're bigger than your standard size trade paperback, bigger than your omnibus editions. They're not the monster size books. Those unfortunately have been discontinued. But these are just bigger artwork. They don't have as many issues as an Epic Collection or a Marvel Omnibus, but they showcase the artwork in this beautiful, just oversized format. I have fallen in love with these books. So today I have made a list of 10 stories, or 10 rather miniseries or runs or just one-shots that I think would make a wonderful gallery edition. So pretty much I'm basing it not just on how good the story is, because you'll see on my list, but also how much I enjoy the artwork. But this is again my list and is all subjective, so I would love to know what you would like to have in gallery edition. I do know of some more coming out in 2023, and those are not on this list. So I made this list before I even knew what those were, and I'll be announcing those sometime in the near future. So let's go ahead and get started with my number one choice. Longshot, but we'll probably have to call it X-Men Longshot. And Niscenti, Arthur Adams. You have inks in here by Terry Austin, Whilce Portacio, and I fell in love with this particular artist because of this run. I would also include the Uncanny X-Men 10, so I've actually putting the content down at the bottom of what I would include in these, just to kind of give more of that Arthur Adams goodness in there. And it's also the issue where he joins the team, but absolutely Arthur Adams art yeah, I'm sure he gets that a lot. Actually, when I interviewed him, one thing was specified that I was not allowed to call him Art Adams, and I was like, done, Arthur, got it. But what I was going to say is that his artwork is just so beautiful, so detailed. He's one of the earliest artists I remember, him and Michael Golden, just borrowing the things that I loved about manga and anime and putting it into a Western style. So of course I have to go with Longshot. Next up on my list is one that I've talked about over and over again. It is my favorite Doctor Strange and Doctor Doom story, and that is of course Triumph and Torment. Now, this is Uncle Roger's masterpiece, or Roger Stern. This is a graphic novel. It was originally released as one of the Marvel graphic novel lines, so I think the oversized hardcover format would be a perfect fit for this particular book, and it's got wonderful artwork in here by Mike Mignola. I also included as extras, kind of like I did with the X-Men Annual, the issues of Namor that Bill Mantlo wrote from Astonishing Tales and Marvel Fanfare. So I did include those in there. Next up is a book that I think a lot of people have forgotten about. I don't know why. And that is Inhumans by Paul Jenkins and Jay Lee. It was a 12-issue maxi series. It was part of the Marvel Knights run. And I think this is one of the best examples of the type of artwork that Jay Lee can do. It is freaking amazing. Just this contrast between light and dark and his just manipulation of that. He is so good at it. And I think it would benefit from an oversized book like this. I think Inhumans are almost forgotten about, although they may make a comeback, who knows. Rumors are everywhere about the MCU and when they're going to go with the Inhumans, but as of right now, I mean, there's not an ongoing series. All the oversized hardcovers are out of print, trade paperbacks are gone, and there's no sign of an omnibus, so at least maybe this might interest some people again into the Inhumans world. And I thought Paul Jenkins did an awesome job writing this story. And when I interviewed him, I remember one of the things that stuck out was that he had never read an Inhumans comic before. So it was like it was literally a fresh take on the Inhumans. 1602, but to make sure we sell books, Neil Gaiman's 1602. I think that's how most of the collections are called these days. This is an alternate reality of the year 1602, with a bunch of Marvel characters thrown in there. You see Peter Parker in there, you see Steve Rogers in there, and it's a twist on those characters. Dr. Doom makes an appearance. It's beautiful artwork by Andy Kubert, and I almost said Adam. And I think Richard Eisenoff actually was doing the colors during this time. But it's also Neil Gaiman. So it's one of those books that I think just makes perfect sense to put it into one of these formats. It was only 8 issues, and the year that it came out, like, nobody could stop talking about it. It was just everywhere. So I hope to see it collected in one of these editions one day just to admire that beautiful Andy Kubert artwork. Next up is the Invincible Iron Man, The Extremis. Now, if you're one of those people that can't separate the artist from the art, this one is by Warren Ellis, so you may want to pass on this one. But I'm focusing primarily on that beautiful artwork by Adi Granov. Don't get me wrong, the story is kick-ass. It's one of the best Iron Man stories out there. But Adi Granov's artwork, my gosh, there was a reason why the MCU hired him to do the designs of the Iron Man suits for the movie. It is just stunning. And because it's so stunning, there was a reason why there's so many delays in between the issues. But oh my gosh, it's jaw-dropping, beautiful artwork. And if you've not read it, I think this is one of the best things they could release in a gallery edition. It's had trade paperbacks, it's had an oversized hardcover, it's had a standard size hardcover release. So who knows, maybe one day they will do it. Halfway through the list, I'm going with Civil War. And I think most people that have watched my channel know how I feel about the story. It's definitely not one of my favorites, but there's no denying that Steve McNiven's artwork is just freaking beautiful. And it's, you know, despite of how I feel about the story, there are some amazing action sequences in here. There's some great moments that are forever embedded in my head, like when the Punisher shows up or Captain America beats the crap out of the Punisher, the fight between Iron Man. I mean, the fight between Iron Man and Captain America was a storyboard that they used for Captain America Civil War. I love the artwork in here, and this really made me a huge fan of Steve McNiven's artwork. I had been following his work ever since the Marvel Knights 4, but wow, this one just blew me and everyone away, and the reason I'm adding it on here is because of McNiven's artwork. Spider-Man Blue. It's crazy to talk about a creator. I made this list about 3 months ago, and you know, since then, a couple of the creators on this list have passed away, and it just breaks my heart to see how many legends we've lost over the last few months. My gosh. But yes, Tim Sale's wonderful artwork in here. It is written by Jeff Loeb. It's one of the best Spider-Man stories. To a lot of people, it is the best, and like the true meaning of love and losing that love is defined in here. If you've not read it, I know trade paperbacks are out of print. I know the omnibus, the color omnibus of Jeff Loeb and Tim Sale's out of print. So it would be great and a great honor to have his artwork like that in this big oversized format. It's beautiful, absolutely beautiful. Alpha Flight, collecting the first 12 issues. I would love to collect all of John Byrne's issues, but I don't think they made gallery editions that big, so I didn't want to get greedy, but I wanted to end on one of the biggest comic book cliffhangers of all time. This is also one of the most experimental times for John Byrne's art. Not manipulating his art, but more so manipulating the panels and what it means to be a graphic novel. He was doing things that not a lot of other artists were doing at the time, and that's why it belongs on the list. I know the omnibus is out of print and the classics are long gone, but I just want that John Byrne in oversized format. By the way, the only X-Men book on this list was Longshot. I know, it's crazy. I kind of have a feeling that a Jim Lee X-Men book is for sure coming, and we've had it in so many different editions, even the big XXL size, so that's why I didn't have it. But yes, of course that would be on the list. It was just hard to make a top 10 and include all the different artists from the different times that I've been reading comics. So where was I? Avengers Ultron Unlimited. This to me is the best Ultron story. It is the epitome of writer and artist working together to tell one kick-ass story. I don't know why they didn't use some of the dialogue from Kurt Busiek's Thor in the Age of Ultron movie, but they really missed out. Yes, this is during the Busiek and George Perez run on Avengers. And it's just classic superheroics with over-the-top kick-ass action, and all drawn by a master that we've lost way too soon, George Perez. My gosh. Yeah, like I said, back with the Tim Cell thing, I made this list 3 months ago, and now he's no longer with us. But absolutely, if you've not read it, it is part of the Omnis, but I think it deserves to be in a bigger format. And to me, I think it captures everything that Busiek's run was on Avengers. Last, but certainly not least, 2001, A Space Odyssey. And this is Jack Kirby's 2001. This was part of the agreement between Kirby and Marvel Comics when he returned back to Marvel in the mid-70s. So this adaptation was from 1976. And this was also experimental. It was released in these big, like, treasury editions. So what better format to put it in than, well, I guess a treasury edition, but hardcover, baby. The bigger the better. And that's gorgeous Jack Kirby artwork. Absolutely. I didn't read this until I was in my 30s. I didn't even know about it until I was at a comic book store. I think it was in Indiana somewhere, just driving for work. And they had like the first 4 issues, and I had no idea what it was about. It blew my mind that Jack Kirby had worked on something like this. It blows my mind that it hasn't really been reprinted, and of course that may have to do with, licensing. So in a perfect world, yeah, no licenses, so they can print a Marvel Treasury edition as a gallery edition with Jack the King Kirby's artwork. But that is my list, and if any of these gallery editions ever make it out in the real world, check out our sponsors where you can get them. If you live in Europe and are interested in pre-ordering or purchasing Omnis, then you should definitely check out Walt's Comic Shop in Berlin, Germany. They have the cheapest pre-order prices for Marvel and DC big books within the EU. Flat shipping of €9.90 for EU countries, extremely careful and sturdy packaging, emails are answered within 24 hours, and they have a superb selection of new releases and out-of-print books on their website. Just head over to waltzcomicshop.com for more great deals and rare titles. And for a limited time, you can use the code nearmintcon, all one word, at the checkout for free shipping to all EU countries with your first order. Walt's Comic Shop, your reliable source for Omnis and premium collected editions in Europe. CheapGraphicNovels.com, your online home for graphic novels and collected editions up to 50% off cover price. They have excellent shipping and prompt and helpful service. Check out their bargain deals for up to 90% off cover price. And don't forget, the CGN also takes pre-orders. That way you don't miss out on the hottest releases. And they are currently running a special promotion for you Minties. If you're a first-time customer, after receiving your order confirmation email, reply back to that email and let them know Near Mint Condition sent you their way. They will then apply a free shipping promotional credit to your next order in the US. Cheap Graphic Novels, your source for the hottest books with the kind of deep discount, quality shipping, and customer service that will keep you coming back for more. That was my top 10 most wanted Marvel Gallery editions. If you've been getting them, let me know what your favorite Marvel Gallery edition has been so far, and what you would love to see collected in a Marvel Gallery edition. Let me know what you think of the list, and yeah, hit that like, subscribe button, ring that bell for notifications. Everyone, please stay healthy and safe out there. Much love.